Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for watching Regen Nation. Yeah, I'm back. I was off for a while, but I'm back now. Better than ever. You know who else was off? The Canadian EV rebate. They were off for a while. They're back.
I'm back, baby.
I'd like to say they're better than ever, but they're not. So let me explain. Okay, let's get right into it. The Canadian EV rebate disappeared for about a year or so, then returned as promised, which is to say late, watered down, and quietly hoping nobody would remember the original price tag. Yeah, that about sums it up for this EV rebate. But let's get into all the details so you know exactly what's going on with this rebate that starts, as of filming this, starts in about 6 days. It's the 10th right now, so it starts in about 6 days. It'll commence February 16th, 2026. There's no word of any kind of retroactiveness here, guys. So if you bought something this week or this year, unfortunately, don't go knocking on the government's door hoping to get your money back retroactively. You can't. So 2026, February 16th, that's when it starts. The official name, because we all love acronyms, who doesn't love an acronym, is EVAP. Stands for Electric Vehicle Affordability Program. I don't know what was wrong with the other name, but this is EVAP. So from here on in, we'll call it EVAP. So like I said, it came out probably a week ago, but I wanted to give it some time to settle down, get all our thoughts together, get the government to get all their ducks in a row, because when something is announced that day and the news articles and the media announce it and talk about it, they don't have all the facts because it's being released by the government. So I gave it some time to settle down, and now we can actually talk about it. Okay, the maximum rebate here in Canada is 5,000 Canadian. So 5,000 Canadian, that's what, in the US, I think it's like $10. But here in Canada, it's 5,000. The last one was 5,000 too, but this one has some catches. So let me explain the rest of it, and then I'll get into the catches and stuff like that. That's for a fully electric vehicle. That's for an EV, basically an EV. If you don't want an EV and you want a plug-in hybrid EV, which is ones where I don't know why you would, because nobody plugs these things in anyways when they run on gas and both. I don't know, hardly anyone, if anyone, that plugs these things in. But if you want to go for a hybrid, the plug-in hybrid, not just a regular hybrid, like not a hybrid where you don't plug in and it just, the car does it, those don't count at all because those are useless. But the plug-in ones, you get $2,500, so you get half of the rebate. This applies to both purchases and leases. Now, I mean, I get why people would want to lease, but to me, leasing is like getting a book from the library. It's like you got to take it back. You can keep it for a little bit, but then you got to take it back. So that's what leasing is for me. But I get it. There are some advantages to leasing, and you know, when it comes to EVs, sometimes leasing it, if you can afford and you're okay with a monthly payment all the time and not owning something, the way EVs are getting updated so often and within a year or two, it's not outdated, but you know, the tech, it's hard to keep up with the tech. It's like a phone, a smartphone. Like you always want to, you know, change it up every 2 or 3 years. You may not be the person that changes their phone every year, like someone I used to know, but you know, you may want to do it every 3 or 4 years. So yeah, maybe leases would be good for you. Now there's a limit. There's a limit to it. If you're an individual, just like a private person like you or me, and you just want to get a car, you get one purchase for every 5 years. And I'll tell you why it's 5 years. Well, let me first say, if you're a business, you get up to 10 within that 5-year period. And if you're a business that has like a car sharing fleet, you'll get 50 per year. But if you're an individual, you only get one every 5 years. It's only for 5 years. And the way it works is, and this is what's different than the last program, is for 2026, this year, it's $5,000. Next year, 2027, it drops $1,000 to $4,000. 2028, it drops another $1,000 to $3,000. So you get the idea. It diminishes every year by $1,000. So if you're in the market for one now, or you're thinking maybe you might want to get an EV next year, this would be the best time to get it, is this year. And I think this is when most people are going to take advantage of it. Why leave $1,000 on the table? If you can afford it this year, and it's in your budget and it's in your plans to get a new EV, get it this year. The other thing is only new vehicles qualify for this. So if you're on Auto Trader or Facebook Marketplace and you see an EV or a plug-in hybrid, it doesn't qualify. It has to be a new car, but it could be a demo from a dealership. It could be a demo, but the demo has to have less than 10,000 kilometers on it. That will also qualify. So new or demo, but not used. Okay, so here's one of the most important things that's changed from last year to this year. Last year, the previous program, the limit or where it started was $55,000. So I don't know if you want to consider that the limit or where it starts. The limit, like you couldn't go over 55,000, and it started at 55,000. No, it didn't start. It capped out. That's the word I was looking for. It capped out at 55,000. So 55,000 is what it was before. Now it's 50,000. But there's a catch, because the way it was last time, it was 55,000 if the car base trim was 55 or less, under 55, if it was a base trim. But if you moved up in trims in that same model, it would still count. Now, the government's caught on to us. Now it's 50,000, so it's $5,000 less. And it doesn't matter if the model starts below 50,000 and the other trims go up. It's only that trim that's eligible for it. So if you have a car that's $49,900, you think, oh great, it qualifies. And it probably should. But there's another catch on top of that I'm going to get to in a second. It probably should. But if you wanted the next trim, the middle trim or the limited, the high-end trim, and it's over 50,000, then you can't get that. Here's the catch on that 50,000. So that example I just gave you of $49,900, that's the sticker price. The problem is these manufacturers and these dealers have fees. It's not their fault. They have fees. They have to charge it onto the customer. They have these fees. And if these fees cost more than in this instance I gave you of a vehicle with a sticker price of $49,900, if that fee goes over $100, like if there's a fee for like $125, now it's $25 over the 50,000. Guess what? It won't qualify. The old program, it excluded fees. So as long as the base price was that, if you add on the fees and stuff like that, and of course taxes don't count, it would still qualify. But the biggest thing that's changed, and I sort of buried this lead and I left it till the end because it is very political, or it could be political, so I don't want to get political, but I saved the worst for last, I guess you could say. Any car that qualifies has to be Canadian made. That's the first rule. And if it's Canadian made, that 50,000 cap that I told you about, that's out the window. If it's a EV or a plug-in hybrid EV that's made in Canada, it could be anything. It could be 80,000, it could be 100,000. It'll still get the $5,000 rebate. You get what the government's trying to do here, right? The federal government's trying to have Canadians buy and support things that are made in Canada. I get all that, right? Problem is, I mean, no offense to anyone that's watching this that works for a car company that's based in Canada, but there's not that many. There's not many. Well, for one, there's not that many to begin with. There's Honda, there's Toyota, there's Chrysler, Ford, and GM. I get it, all that. But what I mean is there's not many car companies that actually make EVs or plug-in hybrid EVs here in Canada. I know, I think out in Windsor, the Chrysler plant makes the Chrysler Pacifica plug-in hybrid. So that'll qualify. I think in Brampton, Chrysler makes that Dodge muscle car that's fully electric. I think that'll qualify. They're not under 50,000, but like I said, it's exempt. The 50,000 is exempt if it's made in Canada. So that's one condition. If it's Canadian made, there's no limit. But what it has to be from a free trade partner country. You see what they're doing there. Once again, with all the politics and stuff going around the world, there should be no surprise. But let me give you the list of countries and areas that have free trade agreement with Canada or are partners with Canada. So those countries consist of UK, Japan, South Korea, Mexico, any country in the EU. We all have free trade agreements with them. There may be another couple countries that I'm missing, but the countries that I'm not missing that aren't included on there, yeah, if you've been following and you missed a couple names on that list that I went through, yeah, US is not on that list because it just isn't, because of the trouble we've been having. And China isn't on it, even though they lowered and they're allowing some Chinese EVs in the country a few weeks ago. They lowered the tariffs from 100 to 6.1. It's still not a free trade partner, so it won't count. So the Chinese made EVs and the US car companies, they are not included in this agreement. So you're limited, but you do have some choices. Let me go through the choices that you guys have. So you're in the market, you've heard this news, and you're in the market for an EV this year or within the next 5 years, like I said, just remember, it keeps going down, right? So let's start with the big manufacturer, Tesla. This is probably what you guys are listening for. Well, Tesla makes a lot of cars. Well, they just canceled the S and X, but that's for another video. But anyways, remember, it has to be under $50,000, the trim. There is one. There is a Model Y that's a standard range rear-wheel drive Model Y. You would think that would qualify because the sticker price, the Canadian sticker price, is $49,990 Canadian. So you think, wow, they just got under there. They didn't have to do anything. It's $10 under the cap. But unfortunately, it doesn't qualify. And let me tell you why. It doesn't qualify because, remember that fees I was talking about? Tesla is not, immune to the fees, and they have to charge fees too. So there's a fee, I think, of like $125 or $150. You add that to the $49,990. Guess what? Now it's over $50,000. So as of now, it doesn't qualify. And I say as of now because this list of about 10 or 12 cars that I'm going to go through with you, as of now, as of filming, this is February 10th. As of now, these are the cars that I can see that qualify. But the manufacturers could change and manipulate the price to make it fit, because Tesla did that back in the day for this rebate when it was a little more lenient and you could just get the trim level eligible, and then all the rest would qualify in that model line would qualify. Now it's just that trim. Will Tesla probably tweak something and change it? They've done it before, so I don't see why they wouldn't do it now. So right now, as of filming, it doesn't qualify, but I suspect it probably will eventually. Let's move on to the others. Okay, the Chevy Equinox EV, that's $46,000, the base trim. That's made in Mexico, so it'll qualify. The Toyota BZ4X, that base trim comes in at $46,000, so that will qualify. The Kia Niro EV, the Kia EV4, and the Kia EV5, they're all in South Korea. They will qualify. The Niro is about $45,000. The EV4 is around $40K range, and the EV5 is about $43,000. So they'll all qualify. The Nissan Leaf is about $45,000. That's made in the UK and Japan. That'll qualify. The sister company to Kia, the Hyundai Kona Electric, that's $43,000. Made in South Korea also. That will qualify. There's a new Subaru called the Uncharted EV. That comes in right now. They say it's about $43,000. That's made in Japan, so that'll qualify. The Fiat 500e, that little tiny car, as of now it qualifies because it's made in Italy and the EU. Finally, the last is the Ford Mustang Mach-E, the base model. That's made in Mexico, and that's about $44,000. That'll qualify. You notice I said a lot of these cars, the base, because like I said, the base model will qualify. If there's higher trims and you want a higher trim and it goes over the 50 grand cap, then it won't qualify and you'll be SOL. So keep that in mind. Leave me a comment down below. I'm curious. I'm really curious. When this program came up, I was curious to know how many people, I asked my friends and family, are in the market for one. And if you are going to get one out of that list, tell me what you're going to get. Also, if you know one that I've missed in my list that you know for a fact qualifies, because this list isn't 100%, let me know down in the comments below. The program is back. There's some changes, but I get why they made the changes, but it's not as good as the last one, but it's better than nothing. At least they have a rebate. At least we have one here as a federal level. I was going to say I'll catch on the next one, but you know what? I mean, it's been so long since I did one. I made a New Year's resolution to actually make a video more often. And I want to get back into doing the news style videos like this. This is a news style video type of thing, is giving you the news. From a Canadian-based thing, but news in general. It doesn't have to be Canadian-based. It could be anything. But I also want to do like a vlog style thing. So, maybe it won't be with all this stuff in the background, and maybe I'll just slap a camera on my dashboard while I'm driving, running errands or to work or something. We'll talk about the news. But anyways, let's chat down in the comments below. Let me know more about this rebate and program and what you guys think of it and what you may get. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.